crazy. Hey, girl,
And now what you're doing, you started off doing a comedy show from your garage. What was your motivation to even, in the middle of a pandemic and a shutdown after losing gigs and things like that, you know, what was the motivation for you to even come up with that idea?
hey. Exactly just that. The Pan-Dammit. The motivation, super for real, was okay. So we accepted that it's a pandemic, right? I'm like, okay, now the kids are out of school. Okay, we all at home, and probably 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks into it, I was sitting here on a Saturday like, oh my God, do I feel depressed?
Right.
Like I felt very bizarre. I felt bizarre because, stand-up comedy is my livelihood. It's what I do. It's what I love. The stage, the people, the laughter. So I remember I was taking a bath. That might be too much information, but I was stepping into the tub and I was still talking to God, like, God, please help me. Like, what can I do? Because I just got back home. I just got back into comedy, like full time, because I was away for a while. And then the creator just spoke to me like, girl, like go in the garage, do a live show in the garage. You working from home? I said, oh snap, God. Okay. And that Thursday, I was in the garage doing the Stay Yo ASS at Home comedy show.
You mentioned kind of having a moment when the pandemic hit where everybody's kind of feeling down. And I've talked to a few people who had like this moment where things were, you were losing gigs like back to back to back to back. They were getting the phone calls to where it got overwhelming. And one in particular, who's a producer, everyone said, oh, I know you're about to produce so much music right now. And he was like, no, I needed a moment because I didn't even feel creative. I was depressed. I had to have that moment to deal and process because, again, like you, it is your livelihood. You're literally having your income snatched away from you. And you kind of mentioned the same thing. This wasn't something that just happened right away. You had to go through kind of a process before you can even get to the place where you're being creative again. Is that correct?
Oh my God, it's absolutely correct because it's not the regular. So yeah, I mean, okay, so back to this. I pushed through and went and did the show anyway, even though I did not feel creative. I did not feel connected because, again, it wasn't the traditional way of telling jokes. And then that's when everybody said the same thing about, oh, you have so many jokes. So when you come out of this, and I'm thinking, nah, one, I can't even think of anything. Two, in order to tell jokes, you have to be living. You have to have experiences. And sure, how many jokes though can I have about my kids on Zoom and zooming through the house? Like, I'm tired of it. So
Right. And that's the other thing, whether you're a singer or, music creator, DJ, you're inspired by real life. And everything right now in real life is like negative.
negative.
So how do you come out of that, put together a show in your garage, and come up with a way to make everything that we're dealing with funny? You know what I mean? So I noticed in the show you have your Lori Lightfoot, you make sure you have your Lysol and social distancing, and even naming the show the Pan-Dammit. Really kind of sums up how we feel when it comes to what we're all dealing with.
Which is now the norm. Because for a while we kept calling it the new normal, the new normal. We've been doing it over 3 months. That's now our way of life.
Yeah.
So, and I'm used to that. And so I have Lolo. I call her Lolo, Mayor Lolo. She's the mayor. The picture or the backdrop that I have of her is the one who will get in your butt. Like, stay in the house. Didn't I tell you? And if I wasn't the mayor, I would use other words. So yes, Lolo was there. And it just made a sense of comfort too. Just something silly and also letting people know I'm in compliance. All right.
Mm-hmm.
It was because at what point it was like you had to have under 6 people if you're working from home, up
Right.
to 10 people. And that's what I did. And it sound when you listen to the show, it sound like it probably was about 25 people there. Because we had people laughing, like my
Yeah.
neighbors would come out and stand in the alley, and like they would laugh so hard that it sounded like a whole crowd. But it was literally, you saw it with your own eyes, 6 people.
Yeah. What was the initial response when you told people, hey, I'm doing a comedy show in my garage, when you're asking comedians to come through with their mask and do a comedy set? What were the initial reactions?
Well, Danielle, it was different reactions from comedians and different reaction from audience people, like to people that would actually tune in and watch it. When I explained the idea to people, they were like, oh my God, that's such a good idea. It's innovative, blah, blah, blah. But then some entertainers had a little bit of pullback. I don't know, based off of what I really can't say, but
Fear.
it was a thin line between hate and a thin line between hate and love, support and non-support. But it was 98% great though.
So you've been doing the Stay Your Butt at Home comedy show for 3 months. What made you decide, hey, we're about to expand it and now we're going to do this drive-in comedy show? Can you tell people about what this drive-in comedy show is all about?
Okay, so yes, absolutely. Phase 3 of, okay, so Chicago rolled out in phases. I guess other states did too, but some people just never closed down.
Right.
So Chicago, when Chicago rolled out to phase 3, more businesses opened and you were able to go outside. So I said, all right, when phase 3 rolls out, we're going outside of this garage. Let's see what the world looks like and have people now come to us, but still be safe.
Right.
And I'm like, how can that happen? So we're just like, let's do a drive-in. This is still me in my brain, talking to God in my body. And I kind of wanted to do it initially, like before the garage show. And I'm like, okay, girl, you pushing it. It's a whole pandemic out there. I'm like, I can go to the Forest Reserve. I can get 6 speakers. I can be at the forest. And I'm like, damn, the forest is closed too, though. So, and I said, all right, when phase 3 and 4 roll out, I'm gonna roll outside too and get people out the house, because when you're in the house so long, now that becomes a virus. You alone. I call it the Alona virus.
That's real though. That's so real.
Yeah. So I'm like, yo, here's something. We had a DJ. It's on Thursday. I do my shows every Thursday. And the drive-in was Thursday. In fact, I have one coming up July 9th. And the gates open at 7, showtime's at 8:30. So that's enough time for people to get in, get their space, get situated. And I got this feedback from the first one that it reminded them of Ravinia. And so I'm so not Chicago, but Chicago. Like I experienced Ravinia one time out of all the amazing things that you guys got to see.
Oh, wow. Really?
So I saw JB, and it still wasn't even a whole Ravinia experience because I was in the inside on the seats.
Oh yeah, no, you got to be outside.
Yeah,
you got.
So people turned the drive-in show to a comedy Ravinia, and had setups. People had tables, chicken, Kool-Aid, cocktails, and good energy. The music was amazing. The big screen was up. It was a 24 by 16 foot screen. We have 4 comedians. This Thursday coming up, we have 3 comedians plus myself, so 4.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just gonna be a good old time. And you can stay in your car and listen, because it's gonna be through FM radio, or you can sit out right outside your car, social distance, and enjoy a good old fashioned comedy show.
I love how it's kind of modeled after the actual drive-in. That's something that, I've been doing lately is going to the drive-in because that's the only way I can see movies.
Yeah,
But
right.
the same principle, everyone comes in their car, they tailgate right in front of their cars, and it's a great way for people to connect without being super close. I have my neighbors in this car over here, my neighbors over there. And what I noticed with the last one that you did I think I've never seen so many people happy to be sitting outside on
Yeah.
79th Street on a Thursday.
And you know what? That is 79th Street, now as you mentioned, 79th Street in itself was something that I decided to do because as we know, Chicago, the Nine, what is it? The nickname is the Nine. And
Right,
it's kind of an area that isn't so pleasant sometimes,
right.
it has a history of ridiculousness. So I said, you know what? I'm going over there. Why can't we kick it in our communities?
Yeah, bring some positivity.
So I decided, I got that parking lot on 79th and Sangamon. I went to the police station, the 6th District Police Station. I talked to them. I talked to the desk sergeant. They were like, oh, okay, thank you for letting us know. We put that on our beat. Then they had the mayor's office call me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, who is this? And they're like, this is the deputy director of Chicago Films, so the mayor office. And they basically just wanted to know, they said, we heard about your pop-up comedy show. And they wanted to know, were we COVID-19 ready? And I'm like, yep. I had to sketch out what I was doing, let them know I had all my sanitizers. We had the porta potty. We had 6 feet. We had signs. We had markings. We had infrared thermometer to take the temperatures of the talent.
Right.
Not everybody that was coming in because everybody, were in their cars. Mm-hmm. And they were like,
oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
oh yeah, it was, and then they got, it was literally the day before. They said, well, Dawn, we're rolling this out in real time too. Like it hasn't been a drive-in in Chicago in decades.
Right.
So, because we are in the city now, it's been some out in the suburbs.
Right.
So
right.
I went into the police station June 16th. They started this letter June 15th. I got it back to them. They kicked it right back to me like, thank you for cooperating. You are approved. Go have a good time. I said, I got to go because famous. Thank you. Because all these tickets are sold, bro.
I think what you're doing is great, and the comedy you're bringing quality talent, local Chicago comedians, and quite frankly, you're giving comedians an opportunity to hit the stage, and I'm sure so many of them have been ready, to get out there and entertain people. You know what I mean? So it's not, again, what I love about what you guys and so many others are doing in different ways. It's not just about you. It's about others within your particular genre in your community and all kind of coming together saying, you know what, we're going to make the best out of this. We're going to figure it out until we can get inside a comedy club or start traveling again. Let's do this instead,
Yes. And that is my agenda. I'm creating another platform because there's so much great talent in Chicago and even like surrounding cities like Detroit can come up the way, because things are open. So, well, we kind of back on a little bit of punishment. Chicago can't really have company right now. So
not from
say it again.
Not from certain areas.
Right. The hot spots. No, thank you. Saying, but it's a platform, and in fact, like the patios are open. So, one of the comics that's on the show Thursday, B. Cole, he started a patio show last week, and I went, and it was great feeling. But then I went to Just Niche Room Thursday and actually performed. I did a Stay Your Butt at Home show. It's called the Stay Your Ass at Home comedy show. You can take dollar signs out when you write it out. And it was the first time I was on a stage in front of people since March 8th.
Right.
I was like, oh, hi, everybody. First I was up and I was like, oh.
Right.
Yeah, where's your mask? Are you taking a test? And I'm like, girl, this is not funny. Stop saying it. So, but it was a good time. Everybody was out trying to have fun. But and then you have to get used to just talking to the camera.
Yeah.
Like, this is normal. Zoom, I've been on a 7,000 Zoom call. I won't show you what I have on at the bottom.
I've never had so many Zoom interviews in my life.
My kids know how to set up Zoom calls. Hello?
Right. I said, my kids are on Zoom meetings. We're on Zoom interviews. This is insane. But, you know, I've talked to a few people that have said, like, this is not going anywhere. The whole concept of virtual entertainment is just going to evolve. It's not going anywhere. You know, even when we do get back outside, there's still going to be some level of virtual entertaining going on. You know what I mean? Do you feel the same way?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Because at the same time, even though it's laws or ordinance of phases of you are able to go out and it's okay according to the state, but my state of mind is not okay. Like, if I don't have to, it's as many people that are just absolutely anxious to get outside. That's how many it is just gonna stay and chill out until they find a vaccine or the curve is just flattened all the way.
Right.
So, and then now people have found a way. Cable is gone. You log on to anything on the YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, everything. You can find a whole show, a whole concert.
It's so funny. I have seen Alvin Ailey online. I have seen some of my favorite TV shows, some of my favorite, you know, R&B soul concerts. I've attended music festivals online, comedy shows. I think I've attended more shows virtually than I have in real life during this time.
And I've saved a whole heap of money too. But and see, you know what? That's where too the I'm not gonna say the problem, but one of the concerns is the amount of talent that it's, because I get paid for my work.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to figure out a way to also still bring in income. Like, so like for the Stay US at Home comedy show, I would do a Cash App or a Zelle. Donations, if you like, if you will. And I would give that to the comics that would come. But that is no way have because I just had another gig canceled. They called me last week and said, hey, Dawn, the cruise, which was August 25th, is canceled. They canceled the cruise. I said, oh, honey, I canceled the cruise. She was like, what, you called them? I said, no, COVID called them. I ain't going.
Girl,
as much as I'm out in these COVID streets, as I say, that's how much I'm not ready to go to a bar. I will sit on the patio and have.
Right.
But I don't know about inside.
But outdoors, I can do right now. But I think it's everybody's individual level of comfort. Like I said, the drive-in movies, drive-in comedy show, that has been working for me because I'm interacting with people, I'm socially distant. You know, it's just enough to kind of give me that interaction because I've been craving interaction with people, not computer screens. So
listen, girl, it's like I said, damn, do I even know how to socialize anymore? Do I know how to socialize? I'm like, hey, hello, what's up? Like, how do I even speak? Like, what's popping? Like, what do we say? It's feel like I've been in the house for a year.
I know. And I said, I've been watching when my kids are like, we're tired of video games. I'm like, yeah, okay. I said, everybody needs to get outside because I never thought I'd hear the day my kids would say I was tired of playing.
Yeah.
I was real. But I think what is again, taking lemons, making lemonade. I think you're being innovative. I think you're pushing the envelope as far as what creatives can do. And I've said it in my last couple of interviews, but I mean it, like the people who come out of this better are going to be the ones who take those risks. And doing a comedy show out of your own backyard,
in the garage,
in a garage, or in a parking lot on 79th Street is a risk. That has fortunately paid off, and is really starting to get some buzz. So with the show this Thursday is who are the comedians on the bill for this Thursday?
Okay, one of the comedians is Dawn B, which is myself. Serena Monet, she's a young, up-and-coming, funny, good energy, little young girl. Like, I hate to say, like I'm so old. I'm not that. She's about 20-something, so she's young. But she has this energy and this drive, and she came to the garage show. Like, yep, it's whatever. She's always doing this. It's cool. It's cool. And so she'll be there. She has a little radio show called Retch Around. I don't know. You'll see it. Retch Around Radio. And then we have Big Keith, Fried Hard is his nickname. And he's from Chicago, very funny brother. He does shows all around the area too. And then we have B. Cole. And B. Cole is a veteran. Like, I was in one of B. Wright's movies, and he's done all the shows, the BET's Comic View, the Def Jam. And he wrote a movie called I'm in Love with a Crackhead. And the crackhead was played by yours truly. It's a poem that he did, and he made it into a movie. It's hilarious with all of like a bunch of Chicago comedians that you know.
Well, I think I consider you a veteran too. You've been out here for quite a while. You traveled the world doing your comedy. Took a little break, but back again.
Yep, I took a baby break. I call that was maternity.
Kids to have little children, but
tried to be a wife. You're right. You know what, Danielle? It's funny you say that because I've been back around, the comedians refer to me as a veteran. Like, oh my God, that's Dawn B. You a legend. And I'm like, really? Okay. And I think about like even you just saying that, like, and I wrote, what's done with the big dogs? Like I'm opening for Donnell Rawlings. In fact, at the Improv at the end of the month. Donnell Rawlings is from Chappelle's Show, Ashley Larry. I was with Charlie Murphy for 7 years. D.L. Hughley, like I've opened for some pretty amazing. So I guess, you know what? Not I guess, I am a veteran. I put some.
Toot that horn, toot it.
And it's been a while. Shoot, I got my first booed show was December 17th, 2000, Riddles Comedy Club. And here we are, 2020. So I paid some too, so I am a vet in the game.
Some time in. I also want to definitely just, congratulate you on what you're doing, what you're continuing to do, and giving other comedians, particularly local comedians, an opportunity to share their talent with a different audience, and to give people like me who desperately want to get out, a place to go and do something different. Are there any rules for somebody who's coming to the drive-in comedy show? Can you bring food? Can you, what are the rules as far as attending?
As far as attending, like, please bring a mask, because like, if you want to go, we have a food truck, we have concession, we have a food truck, we have a drink table, and of course the potty. When do I ever stop calling it the potty? It's a restroom. So if you're outside of your car, the rule is wear your mask. It's literally the rules that we are living by right now. And you can bring food. You can bring whatever you want to make your night feel amazing.
Mm-hmm. And then a chair if you want to sit outside, like a regular picnic chair.
Yep. You can bring a couch. I don't care, just as long as it fits with that 6 feet that I give you. And you know, I'm gonna put this out here right now because I didn't post it yet, but I'm doing a discount too. I'm doing $10 off if you show me a negative COVID test from the last 7 to 10 days.
Okay.
Go get tested. Let's get tested. Let's figure this out.
Now you don't have to worry about the stick up your nose. You can get a swab. So
swab, blood test, because it's so bootleg to say I don't have it because I know I had that back in February. Ooh, in March, girl, I was down. December, honey, Like, we got to stop guessing. Let's go. Let's figure it out before we be like my man's in MDL Hughley passed completely out on stage in front of him. And he was like, man, I didn't have no symptoms. I'm like, DL, passing out was a symptom. He was like, I was dehydrated and exhausted. Symptom. So, and it's true. He laughed too. I told him. You know, it's not less just a small box of symptoms. Like,
right.
If you feel different in your body, like you don't usually feel, you know, because a common cold is getting no respect nowadays. It's no respect. And you can't even say I got a cold. You like, you got a COVID. That's it. Yeah. And you know that, oh man. Well, that's why I'm trying to just do something for people to get outside, because it's heartbreaking.
And it's something, it's not just something positive. It's something that is going to make you laugh. And I think now more than ever, we need to laugh. We have got to find that laughter, that joy, because it's so much other stuff that's happening personally and in the world that will have you isolated and depressed.
I mean, you have a pandemic, you have a revolution, you have a particular leader of the free world, you have kids at home on Zoom, and you know, some people are going through divorce, some people are just couldn't get married. Like,
no graduations, no proms.
No graduations, no prom. And guess what? I am now, because there's some things that I tried to stay away from while telling jokes. And I said, you know what? I'm doing it. I'm going to go ahead and because that's what comedy is. And if I say something like, oh, why are you walking so fast? That's a symptom of COVID. Like, it's going to be funny. You know, it's not really. But I'm going to now start doing my COVID jokes, because it's me. Everything else has my brain on the headlock. I just have to be as vocal as I can about anything that I'm thinking. And that's the joy of being a comedian.
That you can do that. And I told you, that's the thing my dad always says, out of great pain comes great art. And I think that is what we are seeing with so many Black creatives. Black creatives are stepping outside of their boxes and some incredible work and producing some incredible work. The music, the art, the movies, the book, the art that is coming out of the revolution and the pandemic. It just, you know, those are the things when you look back in the history books, that's what you're going to be reading about. You know, this kind of new awakening with Black creatives. And that's the positives that comes out of all of this. That's the stuff that you can actually have as part of the time capsule. Your stay your ass at home, garage comedy show, the pandemic drive-in comedy show. Those are going to be things that people talk about when they look back on the year that was 2020, you know.
That vision is not 2020, but yeah, I joke now because my kids are 6 and 4, and they're gonna, when they get high school, 20 years old, they're gonna be like, yeah, remember 2020, man? We was home taught. Like, mom was working from the garage. It's gonna sound like such rough times. Is what I'm saying too, Daniel, because I didn't quit comedy, but I went away to Okinawa, Japan for 3 years, and I had 2 babies and a husband, and I was not doing comedy nearly as much as I wanted to or used to. And when I did the Stay Your Ass at Home comedy show, it's a live show, and you can literally see how hard it is to do jokes in front of the camera. And that was the point too. One of the points was to show people the behind the scenes of how you come up with a joke, because they'd be like, oh my God, Dawn, you're so funny. When you see me at the Improv or the Funny Bone, you are hella funny. And I'm like, Chad, well, that joke was in nothing a month ago.
Right.
And I risked too bombing every week. I bombed every week for like 8 weeks straight at the Stay Your Ass at Home comedy show. Mm-hmm. Some people thought it was funny. Some people I was like, I had a couple good shows in 3 months, but you just wait.
It's part of it, but that's, again, like I told Dion, when you allow yourself to be vulnerable in front of your audience, that's what connects you to them. Like, we're drawn to the artists that we relate to, and I relate to artists that open themselves up to me, so I can relate to them. You know what I'm saying? So I just think it goes way beyond, you know, just sheer talent. You know, it's a certain level of vulnerability that artists have been displaying. Let me come into your garage online. Let me come into your home if you're playing, you know, DJing a set or what have you. Like, there's something very personal, very intimate about it, even in the midst of all of this. So I think, like you said, I don't think it's going to be the last of this. I'm looking forward to seeing how it evolves. And quite frankly, how entertainers, how do you get that energy? You know, I've mentioned this to DJs. DJs are used to reading a room to know if they need to switch up the record. You know, if nobody's dancing, they switch it up. Same with comedians. How do you know
when how do you know you're the only one laughing? Because you're the only one laughing. Lord have mercy. And you just, because you know what, in comedy, they used to be done. Would you please? They used to be, see, and then you get distracted. As a comedian, you still be like, I don't know. I think that I'm the only one that turns into super ADD when I'm on stage, because you see everybody walking, you see people talking, you see people not listening. Mm-hmm. And then when you're used to that, you're so used to that, now with just you and the camera, and you see nothing, you're like, oh, I need to see somebody walk into the bathroom. You know, like and now he has thrown off my however it goes. I'm happy I'm here. I'm happy that you have reached out to speak to me, because Dawn B is from Chicago, and I've been
born and raised.
Honey, and
let people know where they can find you, where they can find information on the comedy show, your Thursdays, and your drive-in comedy show.
Well, child, let me change this to Dawn B, because that's Dawn Alexander. I'm a different person today. Like Dawn B, and Dawn Alexander are different people. And so no, Dawn B Boatman on Facebook is my handle. Dawn B Funny on Instagram. You can find you might find my son sitting outside by himself on 87th Street at the CTA bus stop. Again, hey, Dawn B here, Dawn B. So Thursday nights, you can find me on live Facebook via Facebook Live, Dawn B Boatman. I post and let you know also on Instagram, on IG at Dawn B Funny. Now, I have somewhere in here, I want to put in the link for the drive-in comedy show, which is July 9th. Gates open at 7, showtime's 8:30. Come out, have a Stone Cold. Pal as many people as you can in the car. It's $30 per car. I don't care if you put 10 people in there. Roll out when you get there. Pal them all back in and go home. Go on in, get in the car. It's $30 per car. It's an Eventbrite tag going around right now. And I just hope to see everybody. Have a good time.
It was a pleasure talking to you. I will see you Thursday at your drive-in comedy show.
Words.
Thank you so much with the Chicago Defender today, Dawn B. We look forward to your show and to watching your career in the future.
Word, thank you. Oh my God, I forgot the Defender was there for All-Star Weekend.
Yep.
We got a relationship, sis. We love the Defender.